on the shores of the magnificent Lake Sevan in eastern Armenia. This is the biggest lake in the country and the Caucasus region. More precisely, we are standing on the Sevan Peninsula, previously Sevan Island. We are by one of the main attractions here, the Sevan Monastery. It's early morning, the tourists are just showed up here. So yeah, pretty interesting piece of history about this location. So down in the distance you can see the mainland, and then you got this peninsula jutting out into the lake. Back in the day, this used to be an island. As a result of irrigation and a hydroelectric power project in the 1930s, a lot of the water from this lake was drained and the water level dropped significantly. So this land bridge appeared, and this was no longer a lake, and now it's even more accessible. You can see the town down in the distance. You got some resorts along the coast here, and yeah, we'll go down and check that out later, and then I'm going to show you my hotel, which I think is probably the coolest part of this town. Let's see. But yeah, Sevan Monastery, built in the 9th century. Pretty isolated place, I can imagine, back then, when this was an island. Monks would be hanging out here. We are at an altitude of 1,900 meters above sea level, so this place is significantly cooler than places like Yerevan, the capital, which is not far away, making this a popular spot for local tourists to come and escape the heat and enjoy things like whatever this is. Come down, lounge by the beach, and down here they also have what feels like holiday villages, smaller hotels, cabins, things like that.
My friend.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, I will take your number later and call you if I want to do a tour. Yeah. And if we do the tour, I call you, yeah?
Okay.
Or WhatsApp. Or
Sorry.
tried walking down to the city center along the all the beach resorts, but there was no sidewalk. It was just straight onto the highway, so a bit of a suicide mission. So I've got a car now, and now we're blasting around town here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Coming down the highway here through town, just stopped off by the side of the road to check out this beauty. Look at that. It's an observation deck, sort of in the shape of a fin or a wave, perhaps. Let's go see. This was probably built in the 1960s, I would think. Let's go up to the top, see what the view is like. View of the Sevan town. Not too much happening down there. Obviously, the main attraction here is the lake. Quite interesting location for this observation deck. We'll be overlooking the lake. We're not too close to it. I was thinking maybe it had to do with that when the lake was drained and the water level dropped, that previously this might have stood closer to the water, but the years don't really check out. I think the water had already dropped when this was built. It really is quite rugged. Just a bunch of rocks thrown onto this concrete structure here. Quite imposing here by the side of the road. Nothing really else going on. The guy who drove me here, the taxi driver, he said that his grandfather was one of the men who had helped build this. Down by the water here, checking the quality. It does look pretty clear, and at this altitude it's essentially an alpine lake. This lake has taken a beating by human activity though. So obviously what I mentioned before with the water level dropping by up to 20 meters at some points. And then this essentially being a catchment area for all the mines, factories, industrial runoff in the surrounding area. So all those rivers will be bringing pollution right into this lake. So yeah, you might get a dose of some nasty metals in your system if you're brave enough to take a dip. I just stick with the view for now. What started out as a pretty dreary morning here on the Sevan Peninsula has turned into a proper beach resort day. The sun is out. The sun is really strong up here. We're on the high altitude, so I don't know if that plays into it. People are out. They're swimming, doing boat tours. Jet ski rental guys are being active here on the beach. Found this place right on the beach. Completely empty. I went for the pork shashlik, which is excellent, very juicy, crispy, all the right adjectives for lunch here with our local Ararat premium Armenian beer. So yeah, just gonna enjoy this meal and then continue walking around here and see what else is up on the peninsula of Sevan. We have arrived at one of the more interesting buildings here in the Sevan area. We are right at the tip here of the peninsula, and here we have the Sevan Writers House, which is currently being used as a hotel I'm staying at during my trip here. This building was originally built as the guest house for the Armenian Writers Union. The building to the right is the hotel part, accommodation part of this complex. It's the original building of these two. It was built in 1933, just after this former island had become a peninsula and thus more accessible. That was the first building that was constructed. It was built as a retreat for writers, artists, poets from all over the Soviet Union to come here, rest, create, collaborate. Understandable, it's a very serene place. I'm sure you can find some inspiration to create greatness while staying here. The building to the left, which has that iconic shape to it, that very unique architecture, that is the cafe slash restaurant part of the building, and it was created 30 years later, so in 1963. In the subsequent years, after the first building had been completed, the two architects that designed this place were actually sent to a gulag, forced labor camp in Siberia. And pretty amazingly, once they were rehabilitated, they came back and designed and saw through the construction of the second building, the addition. So quite a grim history in this place. Here we are in the cafe with a dining hall, which is this building with the unique architecture just sticking out off the rock here, overlooking the lake. It's a real time capsule here. Still operational. There's a cafe. I'm enjoying a coffee at the moment. A nice thing here is that many of the, well, basically all the original features are restored. So nice and tidy everything, but minimal renovations that would have ruined the original character of the place. And they've brought in some modern amenities. All right, let's step out onto the balcony, circular balcony around this cafe building. Look at here, the rendering on the wall there. Got some nice structure to it. So after you had your dinner, couple cocktails, you could come out here, have a cigarette, probably smoke inside, but have a cigarette and a coffee out here and enjoy this glorious view. You have a nice contrast of what Sevan can offer. So you have this building from 1963, and then you have the Sevan Monastery from the 9th century. So there's been activity here for a long time. Bit of a Stalin stash. There's a trail connecting this hotel with the monastery up there as well, which is nice. That's how I managed to skip the tourist trail. Just snuck in from behind there. Okay. Entering the hotel part. It's a bit of a game room. Yeah, this is pretty cool. They have some of these boards around the hotel showing old buildings. Looks like some conceptual artwork. And here you have a great photo of what this place looked like when it was an island. So there you can see it's cut off by a strait of water. The monastery is there. So here there's a land bridge at the moment. And a couple group photos here from the heyday of this place. And here you can see it's an older photo. So the 1963 edition of the restaurant and cafe building has not been built yet. You'll see this big terrace, plenty of outdoor space on every level of this place. And then we got the staircase with the big glass pane windows up and down here, just maximizing the sunlight and the views over the lake to spur the imagination, the inspiration for the artists that stayed here. You got the spiral staircase, which makes it feel a bit like you're climbing a lighthouse. And then you got these corridors leading to the guest rooms. All of them seem to be facing the lake. So no bad views in this property. Let's climb all the way to the top. All right, here we are. Got access to the roof locked off there. We got two sizable portholes up here. Going with that maritime theme. And you really can't fault the views in this place. Anywhere you look, you got something. Let's do a room review. Room number 4. Come on in. All right, so when you enter the room, you have a bit of a foyer here. Got a wardrobe, questionable fridge there, but it's there. You got a table, you can unload your stuff. Nice little mirror, getting ready in the morning. Then we have the bathroom, which is basic, I must say, because the shower is connected to the tap. But very easy to operate there, so really no problem. Yeah, it's definitely got some wear and tear on it, but I will let it slide. Main room, you have 2 beds here on either side, flanked by these retro looking lounge chairs, which you can just sit and relax in. Burberry bed sheets. What more can you ask for? Perhaps a balcony. Say no more. Look at this. So this is obviously shared with the neighboring rooms, but the occupancy levels here seem to be pretty low. So yeah. Private balcony. You can see the nice little smaller circular balconies up here. Not quite up to current safety code. Very low. Let's have a look here. They go barely up to the knee. Knee height. So yeah, I'm sure there was maybe 1 or 2 tipsy riders who might have taken a tumble back in the day. Here on the side you at least got a roof that would cushion the blow, but you would just go lunging down the hill there. There are not many properties out on the tip of this peninsula. It's this place and the neighbors. You can see the fence just over there. Quite the formidable obstacle. And it's apparently the summer residence for the president of Armenia. So we're in good company here. Down here in the village, you see a lot of police presence, just a disproportionate amount of police and police cars. I don't know if it's linked to that, if he's here at the moment. But yeah, it feels like a bit of overkill, the way they staff the police down here at the moment. So yeah, good. Could be an explanation to that. Pepsi promotion. Just enjoying the afternoon sun here on the balcony, overlooking the lake. Sevan, impressions. Very nice little seaside town. Quite quaint. Maybe not that many attractions, but the attractions that they do have are definitely worth the visit. Yeah, and this hotel in itself has been a bit of an experience. I hope you enjoyed it too. I think that's a wrap on Sevan, and yeah, I'll be making my way towards Yerevan, to the west, the capital, possibly head south. We'll see how far we get, but yeah, that's the general plan. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.